All right. Shalom. First and foremost, we'd like to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, Great Millstone, to all the Akim out there teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity, to the men, women, and children listening learning, and to Bayasha Dabadat, the house of David. I am Ayasha Tad.
I am Darash.
I'm correct with that.
All right, and we're coming to you through the will and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, this is a lesson that's going to be called My Flaws is Your Flaws. All right, my flaws is your flaws. All right, so Lord, will it be edifying unto the body? It's locked in. I'm going to go ahead and get, we're going to start in the book of Proverbs. It's going to be chapter 27 and verse 7. In verse 7. And it reads, the full soul, it's locked in. We're right?
No,
17.
Verse 17.
I was like, that doesn't. All right. Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friends. All right. So a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friends. So that man should be helping that other man out to be as prestige. All right. To be as sharp, to be as well groomed, to be as well taken care of. All right. To be as treasured. To be on point. All right? For one another. Because iron sharpeneth iron, so it should go both ways. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. It shouldn't be... Salakia. If you are in a body, it shouldn't just be one man, all right, doing all the work. All right? Because even Apostle Tahar has an Apostle Gabar, Apostle Ramla, Apostle Rakal, even though he's, the elder apostle, all right, but they bounce off of each other. What is it? An unjust balance is an
unjust balance and abomination.
Abomination unto Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai.
And a just way is his delight.
All right.
God.
I'm going to, is that Romans, I'll say, the 12th chapter, where it goes into the members of the body?
God.
Each one has a, different measure, different attribute that contributes, to the whole body.
God.
And it's our responsibility, in this truth, what are we ultimately striving for is for perfection. Yahweh Shah said, be ye as perfect as I am. All right. So, that's like what every brother should be striving for, in this truth. Is becoming perfect, through, trial and error.
God.
Through, messing up and then self-examination and fine-tuning, what you need to do to get to that next level spiritually, and developing,
God. And I'm going to go ahead and bring it out. This is the book of Romans, chapter 9. Or Slakia, chapter 12 and chapter 12 and verse 4, and it reads, for as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office. All right, so not all members are going to have the same office. Not all members are going to have the same measure. All right, I'm going to continue on, verse 5. So we being many are one body in Hamashiach, and every one member one of another. Having then gifts different according to the grace that is given to us. Whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the profession of faith. All right, so that's the profession of faith. Just to continue with each gift that is given unto the body, each brother in their measure. Okay. Mm-hmm. Each sister in her measure, all right, of the men of the 144,000, but of the multitude of the 1/3, all right, because of faith, your faith, Abaratazah, we be those men of the 144,000 of the 1/3, but that the faith of the 1/3 is the men, women, and children who believe upon the testimony of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Help manifest, all right, the will and the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai come to pass. It is, what is it, roughly paraphrasing, until everyone is sealed?
Right. To elect be sealed.
God, the elect be sealed. That's not just the 144,000. That's the whole multitude of the 1/3. Okay?
And I got a precept right here. This is Romans 15:4. Now the power of patience and consolation grant you to be like-minded, one towards another, according to Hamashiach Yahushai. Oh, Salakia. That was verse 5. Let me read it. Salakia, this is Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. So the things that are written aforetime were written for our learning. How we learn is by studying the scriptures to show that self-approved. You know, it's through repetition. You know, going over the scriptures, and you know, breaking them down in the correct way, and then rehearsing them. You know, that goes to the book of Judges 5:11. You know, rehearsing the righteous acts, roughly paraphrasing. In verse 5, and it says, "Now the power of patience and consolation grant you to be like-minded, one towards another, according to Hamashiach Yahushai." So to be like-minded meaning to be on one accord, to be in agreement with this truth. You know, that's how, you know, to be on the same page and to make sure that we all stay on the same page. And the next scripture I had was the book of 2 Timothy. It's going to be...
Is he there? I'm already there.
Oh, you're there?
Mm-hmm.
2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. Go ahead.
Okay. And it reads, "Study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth."
God. Hey, a workman need not be ashamed. All right? Because you're dividing the word of truth. You're getting the message. All right? The unpolluted message.
Mm-hmm.
All right? The true doctrine, the good wine, the living waters.
Okay. You know, and there's nothing to be ashamed for. You know, that shame, you know, covers all aspects of this truth. You know, rebuke. You know, there's a question you gotta ask, not being, you know, afraid to ask that question, not being ashamed of putting in the work. You know, and you know, making yourself, you know, a target to be seen. You know, there's a lot of shame that comes, you know, that could enter your mindset in this truth. You know, but you know, knowing and having that faith that Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that you're doing His will. You know,
God. And ultimately that goes back and to the whole body. All right? And matter of fact, just to prove that, this will be the book of Galatians chapter 6 and verse, I'm going to start at verse 1, and it reads, "Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted." Verse 2, here's where it really drives in the point. "Bear ye one another's burdens." Slakia. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfilleth the law of Hamashiach. For if a man thinketh himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. Verse 4, "But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself also, and not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden. Let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things." All right? So that is we bear one another's burdens as a body, all right? But it's going back to what? Study and show thyself approved.
right? You know, and you know, we we bear each other's burdens, but there's also a point in time where you got to realize, this is something that you got to handle yourself.
God.
And know that the body is there for you, but some certain things, can't be done unless it's done by yourself.
God.
There's some obstacles and some, some trials that, Yahweh Shem Yahshua is going to put you in a certain situation that only you can get yourself out of, which ultimately is through faith. So your spiritual evolution, and spiritual growth, depends on, the things that you can do for yourself.
God, it is necessary.
Right.
Be thou as a good steward.
Right, and that's why it says, make, seeking out with all diligence, making your calling of election sure. It's talking about your calling of election, because all three of us brothers have different, paths to get, that crown. Lord willing, we be a part of that number, but we all have different paths, that ultimately, Lord willing, they we all, meet at that, at the goal, which is salvation.
God.
But the body's there for you to help and,
To exalt.
share, exalt everybody and share those experiences that would help out the next brother in the truth.
And the precept I got is Philippians chapter 2, verse 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. So as Brother Karata was saying, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to put you in certain situations where through faith you're going to have to get yourself out of. And, working out your own salvation with fear and trembling, that's the motivation you need. The fear of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So that's going to, that fear is that motivation, to get it right. That should let you know, you got to get it right.
And to just kind of fine tune that point, you're never really by yourself.
God.
Because what did Yahweh Shai say to the disciples? And lo, I am always with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, and as if you keep this, Holy Spirit, the Spirit of Truth, which is the Comforter, and keep and meditation of the precepts, you always have Yahweh Shai with you, and this is that, that fiery furnace as a Meshach, Reshach, and Abednego,
God.
that Yahweh Shai was already in the fire with them, but that's the same thing through those, through those rougher times they are come ahead. Jacob's trouble. You may not be, blessed to have a couple brothers or a brother next to you. So you're gonna have to go off of the learnings and the experiences, that were taught to you.
God.
And
and pray that Yahweh Shem Yahushua, instills that understanding into you for you to access that those learnings, and those teachings.
God, I got a script for that. Hey, this is the book of Romans chapter 14 and verse 23, and it reads, "And he that doubteth is damned, if he eateth, because he eateth not of faith. For whatsoever is not of faith is sin." All right. So if you don't have the belief and you're not believing, hey, as the brothers were saying, hey, that's sin. All right. That's just counted unworthy. All right.
And marked.
Right. Counted unworthy and marked. As the brothers were saying, you had something else to lock in. That just I was right there, the spiritual spot.
2 Timothy. This is 2 Timothy 2 and 5. And it says, "And if a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully. So through the Spirit, when you really think about it, we are lost students of Yahweh Bashim Shai. And our mastery is to perfection, to get to the perfection of the word, this law. That's what we're striving for.
Joe?
And you know, it's the way of Yahweh Bashim Shai. So we are law students, perfecting ourselves in the law day by day.
Not only perfecting ourselves in the law, but exhorting Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and His law. All right? As we're becoming perfect in the law, Abaratazah would be those men, we are also more so establishing and rehearsing the righteous acts to the law. All right? So that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai may be manifested in all His works and all the works of the body. All right. Y'all brothers got anything else?
Was there another scripture? Or
Oh, that was it on that one.
pulled out everything?
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it?
God. All right. Well, Lord willing, it was edifying unto body. I'm going to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to all the Akim out there teaching and preaching with 144% sincerity, to the men, women, and children listening, learning, and to the Bayasha Dapadat, the house of David. To the next time, this is Men of Valor, Las Vegas Camp. We say Shalom, Wa Abba Baba.